Dear poor people, the enemy has been identified. Thanks to our friends over at Morning Joe, we know exactly who to fear. Most importantly, we know what's in jeopardy.
Why are white rural voters a threat to democracy at this point? You would think, as we pointed out, looking at Joe Biden's background and Donald Trump's, that the opposite would be true.
I mean, we lay out the fourfold interconnected threat that white rural voters pose to the country. First of all, and we show 30 polls and national studies to demonstrate this, so we provide the receipts in Chapter 6. They are the most racist, xenophobic, anti-immigrant, and anti-gay geodemographic group in the country. Second, they're the most conspiracist group. QAnon support and subscribers, election denialism, COVID denialism and scientific skepticism, Obama birtherism. Third, anti-democratic sentiments. They don't believe in an independent press, free speech. They're most likely to say the president should be able to act unilaterally without any checks from Congress or the courts or the bureaucracy. They're also the most strongly white nationalist and white Christian nationalists. And fourth, they are most likely to excuse or justify violence as an acceptable alternative to peaceful public discourse.
Now, they said a lot about America's rural whites, all bad, of course, and I'll deal with a lot of that, but mostly I want to talk about democracy. According to the panel, democracy is in peril, and this is very serious. This report would be terrifying, except America is not a democracy. Well, if a democracy is so great, then why aren't we one? I'm glad you asked. We are not a democracy because the founding fathers loathed democracies. John Adams said, "Remember, democracy never lasts long. It soon wastes, exhausts, and murders itself. There never was a democracy yet that didn't commit suicide. It is in vain to say that democracy is less vain, less proud, less selfish, less ambitious, and less avaricious than aristocracy or monarchy." James Madison said, "Democracies have been found incompatible with personal security or the rights of property, and in general have been as short in their lives as they have been violent in their deaths." John Marshall said, "The experience of all former ages have shown that all human governments, democracy was the most unstoppable, fluctuating, and short-lived. Between a balanced republic and a democracy, the differences is like that of order and chaos." The problem with pure democracies is that they can be prone to the tyranny of the minority, a system in which particular extreme and motivated fractions of the populace can wield outside power in the face of the majority, which is either too indifferent or too scared to oppose it. This is why our founders constructed a representative republic, to protect the rights of individuals, not the rights of minorities and not the rights of majorities. Maybe the rural whites are just pissed because the coastal elites are trying to morph Americans into a democracy and use minority factions to create chaos, which will force them into accepting a lower standard of living, where we will share the same quality of life as other people in other parts of the world. Maybe rural whites are really saying, we're not a democracy, so stop acting like we are.